Salut, mon nom est Juliette et c'est Vassé du jour. Aujourd'hui, nous faisons un plat traditionnel vietnamien appelé bun ốc, une soupe d'escargot servée sur des noix de riz. Hi, my name's Juliette and this is Dish du jour. Today, we're making a traditional Vietnamese dish called bun ốc, a snail soup served over rice noodles. To start, I've taken 2 chopped shallots and 6 chopped cloves of garlic and sauteed them for about 2 minutes in 2 tablespoons of cooking vegetable oil. You saute them for 2 minutes or until the shallots are translucent. And then when that's done, you add 6 seeded and quartered tomatoes and you cook that for about 5 minutes on medium heat. Originally, bun ốc was just a tomato-based traditional Vietnamese soup, but when the French attempted to colonize Vietnam in 1858, the French lifestyle leaked into Vietnamese cuisine. The French brought certain French spices and ingredients such as snails and vermicelli, the rice noodles that bun ốc is served over. After you've cooked the tomatoes, the shallots, and the garlic for about 5 minutes, you're going to add 1 15-ounce can of diced tomatoes with the juice, 10 cups of pork broth, which if you make your own pork broth, props to you because it's a huge production with original pork bones, but I've taken the liberty of substituting it with chicken broth today. So you add 10 cups of broth to the pot, and also you can add 1 chopped ginger root. And then you bring this to a boil. Once it's to a boil, you add 1/2 pound of ground pork crumbles. Make sure they're in itty-bitty pieces, no bigger than about a dime. And then you bring the soup down to simmer while the pork cooks, so between 10 to 15 minutes.
L'épisode d'aujourd'hui a été présenté par Jules Lascaux, des grandes chansons Jude autour du coin. Today's episode has been sponsored by Jules Lascaux. Great things are just around the corner.
Welcome back. While you're away, I brought the soup down to a simmer and I added the pork crumbles. I also began to reheat our shellfish ingredients. So, the traditional recipe for bun ốc, after the French renovated it, calls for 1 pound of small escargot, which wasn't in my budget. So I got 1 small can of escargot, pre-cooked, from my local Jules Lascaux. And I also picked up a box of cockles, small clams that are harvested off the coast of Spain. Most recipes for bun ốc for people on a lower budget use cockles because they're cheaper and you get more in a can than you do escargot. But because I'm making it for all of you, I decided to use both. So we have our combination of shellfish, and if you buy them pre-cooked in the can or box like I did, all you have to do is rinse them in water and reheat them. But it's important that you don't bring the water to the boil since they're already cooked. If you buy the escargot French, which props to you if you have that kind of budget, then you have to boil them and cook them before you add them to the soup at the end. So now that the soup is simmering, you're going to want to add tomato paste, about 1 ounce, so a really small portion of the can. So you have the tomato paste. Also, I would say add fish sauce. Traditional fish sauce is made much like soy sauce, so be careful when adding it because it has a high salt content. I would recommend adding about 2 tablespoons to taste and then going from there. So you add the fish sauce. That's probably good. And stir it in. And then for now, I'm just going to add a couple of spoonfuls. Use a slotted spoon to transfer the shellfish. I'm just going to add a couple of spoonfuls of these to the dish for now. And you stir those in. And then I've already prepared the bowl for myself with vermicelli rice noodles in it, which you cook just like any other noodles or rice. Here's a ladle, and I'm going to try some to make sure it's good for you all. Yep. There's some tomatoes and some meat and some shellfish. It smells delicious. It's so good. You can, if you let the shellfish cook for a couple of minutes, you could taste it. But it was good. The pork flavor is nice and integrated into the dish, and the rice. Noodles are cooked just right. Well, thanks for joining me today on Dish du Jour. My name is Julia, and thanks for watching.
Credits starring Colleen Wilkes. Commercial voiceover by Caitlin Wilkes. Directed by Colleen Wilkes. Produced by the Wilkes Family Productions.